Today down in the comments, I want to hear what your favorite horror or horror-themed video games are. Hello, I'm Adam Caesar, and this is Project Black T-Shirt, the channel where we take a new release horror movie or horror movies and then pair them with a piece of horror fiction that you will enjoy reading if you like those movies. And today, you know, it's a rainy day here in Philadelphia. It is week 100,000 million of quarantine. It is less than 2 weeks as I record this, away from the launch of my first big hardcover, big publisher debut, Clown in the Cornfield by Adam Caesar. That's me. So I'm trying to launch that book. I'm trying to do all this promotional stuff. I've been on a lot of podcasts and done interviews and doing all this different promo stuff. So I'm run ragged. I'm betting you are too, since, like I said, it's week 1 million of being inside and not being able to see our friends and not being able to go to the movie theaters and doing stuff that inside kids like us enjoy. But the one thing I've been able to do during quarantine is something that I only dreamed of doing a few months ago or a few years ago. I have enough time on my hands that I'm finally playing video games, and playing video games in kind of the instead of going out to the movies, instead of all the other kind of free time entertainment stuff I'd normally be doing. And I'm really enjoying myself. And I've played a couple of video games that I think people who subscribe to the channel, if you're not one of them, go hit the button. People who subscribe to the channel will enjoy because they are kind of like the movies that I usually talk about on this channel. They are spooky and creepy and splattery and cheesy and all the kinds of things that we usually talk about here, but they're in video game form. So we're going to talk about 3 games. I'm going to talk about like kind of the newest first, the kind of hottest item first, and then I'm going to walk back several months, and then I'm going to end up with a game that's actually years old, but I'm just kind of discovering it or rediscovering it right now. And then at the end, as we always do, I will give you a book recommendation to read between melting your brain with these video games. So that's what we'll do today. Today is in some ways a relaxed fit video. Hang out, tell me your favorite video games in the comments. Tell me if you agree or disagree with what I've chosen to play. Let's have a nice chill vibe this week, guys. The first game I want to talk about is actually the most recent game and the game I've played most recently. Destroy All Humans. That's not my 2020 campaign slogan. I'm not announcing. Destroy All Humans, at least this version of it, is a game by Black Forest Games. And if the title sounds familiar, it's a brand new game, but it's actually a remake, a remaster of a game from 2005 that was on PlayStation 2 and Xbox, I think. And it's a game where 15 years ago, when this original version of this game came out, that was high school. I was perfectly aged to be playing this game, and I remember loving Destroy All Humans. And then I think I played the sequels as well. I think there were at least two sequels. But nothing really ever reached the heights of just that initial one and the novelty of that initial game. And what Black Forest Games here, what they've done is they've taken the original dialogue track, the original plot, the original everything from the game, but they've made the graphics like new next-gen graphics, and they look beautiful and kept kind of the same cartoony art style. This is a game where you play as Cryptosporidium, who is this clone, kind of your traditional bug-eyed gray alien, straight out of 50s and 60s sci-fi and B movies, with a ray gun and all these different contraptions and ways of destroying humans. And it's a game where you're playing the bad guy. There's a kind of Roswell-like incident where Crypto's brother is crash lands on Earth. He's kind of kidnapped by the government, by the U.S. government, and Crypto comes down and he has to find his clone outside of the sheen of new graphics. This is a 15-year-old game, and there's something about the idea that it plays exactly the same, and it plays like games used to be designed. This is around the time where games were big business, and sandbox games were just starting to be a thing. So there's like 6 maps, and they're all different sandboxes, different locations. One's like Washington, D.C., one's like Small Town America, one's Area 42, which is like an Area 51 kind of riff army base thing. And there's not much of a plot. There's not much of a of an overarching story, even though there is a ton of dialogue and jokes. And for every 10 that are kind of groaners and aren't funny, there's one that's genuinely good and funny and enjoyable. And I felt such a nostalgic joy playing this game. I'm not sure that people who didn't play the original or don't have fondness for the series will 100% click with this, because in many ways it feels dated, but it feels like it's embracing how dated it feels. The original game is a throwback to those 50s and 60s sci-fi alien invasion films, and it does a lot of riffs on that, even though there's like 15-year-old kind of political humor and jokes thrown in there. It is kind of frustrating, kind of rough around the edges, but it is so fun to play. It is just really the best moments come when you're not on a story mission and you just go into a town and you have to do all these little side missions where you're just blowing stuff up and body snatching people and to take over the mayor of a town and like do a stump speech basically. And it's really fun and just exactly what I needed during this time of let's say mental duress. One thing I love about the original game is it had bonus features in it. There was an in-game drive-in that you go to in one mission, and this game replicates it. There's a movie playing on the drive-in screen, and it is Teenagers from Outer Space. The actual film is playing while you're playing the mission. Sorry, there's lightning here. Tons of lightning. And in the original game, when you finished it, you unlocked the ability to go watch that movie. You can't do that in this one, but the movie it's public domain. It's freely available. It's on Tubi. It's everywhere you could go. But there was something about like beating the game, and the last mission is such a pain in the butt. You're fighting basically JFK's head in a jar in a giant robot. But it is so frustrating in that way that games a couple generations ago didn't spoon feed you and felt that they could be frustrating and didn't give you the kind of ultimate out of like easy mode or the ability to skip a mission. But it would have been so much sweeter if there was a little bit of a reward at the end there. But I understand why they wouldn't, and I understand why you can't. But Destroy All Humans, great fun, really enjoyed it. As I'm recording this video, it is Shark Week. They've got something going on where Mike Tyson's, I guess, getting eaten by a shark. So it seems like the perfect time to talk about Maneater. This is a game that came out a couple months ago, or maybe just a couple weeks ago. Who knows? Time is weird now. And if it seems like I've been playing nothing but silly games, I kind of have been. I'm a big horror fan. I enjoy games like Outlast and Resident Evil and Silent Hill. I enjoy all those games that get you so pent up and give you crazy jump scares and all that. But just something about hanging around and wanting to use these as an outlet to relax. I've just been playing like the silliest, mindless games I can get my hands on. And Maneater, boy oh boy, is it the perfect chill out, just laugh and feel ridiculous game. You play a shark, and the whole game is framed like a kind of Discovery Channel docu-series where you're watching these fishing boats go out and catch sharks. But the genius behind this construction of it being like a fake documentary is that you have a narrator. You have Chris Parnell from Saturday Night Live, and he's Leo Spaceman on 30 Rock. So you have him doing this kind of faux serious voiceover and giving you all these like facts about sharks as you are this overpowered, sometimes electrified, sometimes bioluminescent shark that's just eating every kind of sea creature. And then you have Chris Parnell kind of delivering these jokes. And where Destroy All Humans feels dated and the jokes don't feel like they land as well, the beauty of Maneater is it is that type of game that you might have gotten 15 years ago, and it feels almost like it's on the fringe of being a AAA game and a budget game now. But the great thing about it is the writing is really funny. It's full of a million little references. They're like as you're swimming around and you're kind of exploring the world. It's like a evil version of Echo the Dolphin. But as you're exploring the world, you're finding all these little Easter eggs, and there's like, you know, movie and pop culture references in each of the Easter eggs that are collectibles that are around the map, and Chris Parnell has a funny one-liner for each one of them, and it's a game where it's like almost 8 hours, and it's a single-player game. There's not all that much to it, but the way that it's structured and the way that it's written never stops being entertaining. It just feels like it just stays exactly on its the length of its welcome. It's a super fun game where you're fighting other sharks, you're fighting killer whales that escape from SeaWorld and stuff like that. And it's a really, really fun and funny game, and I really kind of can't recommend it enough if you're trying to channel your violent aggression in a eco-friendly way. And the last game I want to talk about is in an older game. This is literally 4 years old. As I was kind of in the height of getting into it, in the height of playing it and enjoying it and talking about it on Twitter and playing with my friends online, it had its 4th anniversary. This is a game I bought a while ago, had played a couple matches of, and then just kind of got busy and forgot about it and didn't come back to until right now, until the height of this. This is Dead by Daylight. This is, I'm sure if you're on, video game YouTube, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but this is an asymmetrical slasher video game. 1 player plays as the killer or the slasher, and then 4 players play as the survivors who are trying to escape from the slasher. They're trying to fix these generators, these mysterious generators, and escape. Now, what makes Dead by Daylight especially relevant to the stuff that I usually talk about on this channel is that it has licensed slashers in it. There's a whole roster of original slashers that the developer Behavior Interactive came up with, and they have all these cool backstories, and they have all this kind of cool lore for them, and they look really neat. And then there are the licensed slashers that you can kind of pay for as add-on packs to the game. And those include, but aren't limited to, Leatherface, Michael Myers, Ghostface from the Scream movies, and a bunch of others. Basically, the only ones they don't have are Jason, because Jason has his own game. He had his own Friday the 13th game, and he's mired in legal problems at the moment, and Chucky, which I'm not sure why they don't have Chucky, because Universal seems willing to slap his face on anything, but maybe it's a height thing, because he's too short to kind of more easily program into the game. But this is a game where it gets a little closer to the kind of traditional horror game, like high tension, scaring you type thing, even though it is entirely multiplayer, it's entirely online. There's not that much boo, jump out, jump scare about it, but there's just something so almost sports-like, almost like esports-like, about like feeling like you're really close to victory, or feeling like you're really you as a team against the other person, that I really, really enjoy. And it's just quick. It's quick. You can kind of get in, get out. I can actually play a game in 20 minutes and then just turn off the system and walk away from it. So this has kind of been my bite-sized entertainment, and I have been, when I'm playing as the killer, I have been using your boy Leatherface, because I love him. And I've gotten a little good with Michael Myers, the Shape. And every killer plays differently. They have like a tree of unlockable perks that you can trade among the other killers and the other survivors. So there's a ton of like depth to this game, and there's a ton of replayability, and there's a ton of there's a whole online fan community where I kind of got into it a little bit on Twitter, just checking it out. And there's all these, there's people younger than me, younger than a lot of us, that this game is kind of their main exposure to horror movies and their main exposure to these slashers and these characters. So it's crazy to go online and see like all this fan art and stuff of like Leatherface and like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, and then Behavior Interactive's kind of original characters all like hanging out with each other. And there's a certain like there's like they have the remake Freddy in here, so like for some of these kids, like the Jackie Earle Haley version of Freddy is kind of like the dominant version of Freddy in their mind. An interesting peek kind of into slasher culture. And what they do have is they do have an original clown themed slasher and clown themed character that I have unlocked and play a little with, because I want to live my book a little bit. If you haven't given it a try, or if you haven't given it a try lately, I really do recommend it. It's usually, it goes on sale all the time. I got it for like $20. And then the characters that are piecemeal, you add them on later, and I think they're like $7, but it's worth it. It's just a really, really fun game. It's got a really neat feel to it. At first, you don't know what you're doing, and you're just kind of running around, and you're getting murdered, and you're not doing very well if you're the slasher, and the survivors are just running away from you. But you start to, even if you're not a big gamer, you start to kind of puzzle out strategy and see, oh, this is why teams are doing this instead of that. It's just a really fun, about as casual as like a serious online game can get. And my absolute, far and away, my favorite thing about it is there's no microphone support, so you're not getting yelled at by like 13-year-olds when you have the headphones in. You can't talk to your team at all. That's part of the kind of appeal of this game, is that you're survivors on your own. You have to communicate without communicating, kind of thing, which I love. A+. I wish more online games did that, because God, I don't want to listen to that. For this week's book recommendation, I want to talk about Unboxed by Brianna Morgan. This is a short book. It is actually a play. It is written like a stage play. It has stage directions in it. It is a play text. Morgan is not a writer I'm familiar with. This is the first thing I've read by her, but it was suggested to me online. It just came out. I was like, oh, that's a quick read. That'll be nice between all these big doorstop novels I've been reading. And it's really, really fun. And it feels hyper relevant and hyper specific to this channel and how we talk about books on here, because I am on YouTube, and this play is about a kind of YouTuber who feels the need to level up his channel and orders a, is it real, is it not, cursed box to do an unboxing from the dark web. And his girlfriend's kind of advising him against it, and they have troubles in their relationship, and his YouTube channel's brought in a little bit of money and a little bit of fame, but he wants more. It's a quick, fairly straightforward, minimal cast, 2 actors on a stage kind of thing, and it's really, really enjoyable. And I really kind of liked the melding of new media, social media, with old school spook house type storytelling, with one of the oldest forms of entertainment, which is the stage play. I would love to see this staged. I would love to see a version of this done. But very enjoyable. Go read it. Unboxed by Brianna Morgan. And if you have not ordered your copy of Clown in the Cornfield, this is a softcover advanced review copy. There are hardcover copies of this out right now. They are being shipped out to stores. They are being shipped out to online retailers. I've got links down in the description where you can go get your copy of this. Please go do it. I would appreciate it so much. Clive Barker called me an author who knows how to make us afraid. Damn, I'm honored. That is so cool. This book means a lot to me, and its success would mean a lot to me. And we've got 2-starred reviews. We got a library journal. We got book list. Hopefully more reviews on the way. If you like the book, tell your friends about it. Buy it for the young people in your life, because this is from Harper Teen. This is, on the edge between a teen novel and an adult horror novel. But young people can enjoy it. Older people can enjoy it. Ages teenage to put you in the ground old. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you buy it. I hope you tell your friends about it. I hope you review it on Goodreads, Amazon, all the places you can review books. I really, really, really appreciate all the support for this I've gotten, so thank you so much. That's it. I'm Adam Caesar. You can put all my, Instagram, Twitter, other garbage down there, and you can choose to follow me or choose to ignore me. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to me about video games in the comments, and I will see you next time.